I already have the connection.
Exactly.
So, yeah, so I was already like,
you had the plug into Ghana.
Yeah, like I'm already family. So I definitely had to,
You like that, right?
Like, oh, here's this, here's this American chick.
So Amora, do you want to live in Ghana?
Yes.
You do? What did you like so much about Ghana?
The food.
What about your daddy's culture do you love?
The food.
The food. What's your favorite Ghanaian food?
Watch it.
Yeah, she's a real foodie, right?
This whole family, but yes.
Yeah. Wow. You recently, you took your family to Ghana. When was before that? When was the last time that you were in Ghana?
2016. My daughter reminded me.
2016.
Yes, I went to bury my father.
Okay.
We didn't go.
Yeah, that was it. Was a very quick thing. So I went almost 3 weeks. Our culture. You go. It's a whole production. So most of the time was traveling and doing ceremonies for like funeral ceremonies. It was cool being back home, and yes, I do call it home. It was cool being back, but it wasn't. I don't want to say it wasn't enjoyable because I learned a lot too, and I enjoyed learning. I had never been to my father's village, so that means I was turning 40, and I had never seen Wassa or anywhere in the Western. I went to Takoradi once, but it was real quick in '82.
Welcome back to the channel. Is your man King Anan, and on this channel I create content that bridges the gap between continental Africans and the African American diaspora. My mission on this channel is to help create different avenues of plugging the African American community into Ghana. So on today's video, I've got a pretty special one. I've got some really special guests. The family that you're seeing here is the Amo family, Kweku and his lovely wife and daughter. And Kweku, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves? They actually went to Ghana recently, and I just wanted to bring them onto the channel to talk about what that experience was like. So go ahead and introduce yourself and your family.
What's going on, family? We are Amo Weku. In Ghana, Weku is family. So that's what we call ourselves. My name is Victor, or Kweku. If you want to make it longer, it's Kweku Jabeng. And then we have my wife here, Rachel, my daughter, Amora.
Hey.
Solomon, like I was telling King Anan earlier, he bounced on us. He wanted to go play with his grandmother, so he bounced on us. But yeah.
He's here in spirit.
Yeah, he's here. He's here. You might even hear him come up the stairs and make some noise. Our family, we have our channel, and what we do is just like our brother here, we share. We're sharing our life. I think we're sharing it to let people know that it can be done. Like many things can be done. I want to say all things, but yeah, if you put your mind to it, we want to be in Ghana. We want to travel. We're here in the United States. I am American-born Ghanaian. My wife born here in the United States. American-born American. And my daughter was born right here in Jersey City. But we want to be in Ghana. We want to be in Africa. We want to share our experiences here and there. So that's pretty much who we are. My son's here. He would say more. Rachel.
I think what we do also is like what I want to try to portray is like from different point of views, because there's a lot of people that do content, about Ghana, and it's who you identify with. I think that you like latch on to see that experience. So there's people that will identify with me. There's people that won't identify with me. They'll identify with him. And then there's people that have kids and they're like, oh, I wonder what the experience is like for like American kids or American Ghanaian kids or bicultural kids. So I think that's the important part of just sharing from a honest, raw point of view.
Rachel, how did you meet this Ghanaian gentleman over here in the United States? I want to hear that story.
We met through Facebook through a friend.
Yes.
Yeah. So growing up, I had childhood friends, and it turns out he had the same friends, but we actually never connected that way.
Okay.
So like he reached out to me on Facebook.
Yes.
And basically I wasn't very nice in the beginning because I wanted to know what you were messaging me for. That's just what was happening in my life. Like, what do you want? So, but the only reason I replied is because we had like the mutual friend, and that mutual friend was a very trustworthy source. So I was like, okay, it's not like a serial killer. Let me respond. But I was just like, what? Why? But yeah, so that's how we met, and then we just kept talking. I guess I got nicer.
Kind of.
And yeah.
Wow.
And the rest is history. The first weekend that I came here to, because I lived in Pennsylvania at the time, so it was long distance. So I would take the train here. And then that first weekend that I came here, it was basically like backstory. Growing up in school, I was homeschooled my whole entire life. So growing up, when we studied like African culture and African places, I would always focus on Ghana. So
really?
yeah, always. Like my high school project was Ghana. So when I met him, I kind of already knew, like, it's a different culture. I wasn't like dumb about it.
She wasn't coming in all in rough with him.
Naive. I basically like met his whole entire family, like first date.
It was my mother's birthday.
It was like, oh, this is my mom, this is my godmom, this is my sister, and here's my other sister, my brother, my.
Wow.
Like,
was that a lot of pressure to meet his family like that? Just the first time?
I don't remember it being like pressure. Like they weren't weird about it. It wasn't like, oh, who's this person? I was just like, in. We took the train. We were like, it was fun. We went out to eat.
My niece and nephew fell in love with her. My sister liked her. Like, yeah, it was just real quick.
They had me playing the Wii. I was eating kenke and pepper like the first weekend. It was
straight up.
And then the rest is history.
It was bumping. Yeah.
Wow. So you were comfortable eating it with your hand and everything, just straight off the bat?
She just dug in.
Yeah, it was good.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I fell in love with Chico.
Right.
Yeah.
Kanadi loves Chico.
Shito. Okay. Yeah. So now that you've been in Ghana, what's next? Like, are you guys looking to eventually move to Ghana? Are you gonna be visiting more often, or what's going on? I see her.
Answer this before I.
Yes, that is the goal. Right now, I mean, we can't just pick up and be like, peace out, we're going. Houses don't build themselves for free. So we still have businesses here that we can't necessarily pick them up and move them there yet. So we still have work here. They are homeschooled, so that does give us a little bit more freedom to pick up when we want to and stay for a longer period of time. So right now we're doing, both countries, both places.
Okay.
Are we building?
Yes. I'm hoping to have the house done in less than 5 years.
Awesome. That's a great goal.
She gave us a time.
So, Rachel, what about Ghana connected with you as a child?
My mother's a history buff, so in homeschool we learned real history. So it wasn't like, Christopher Columbus, like we didn't learn none of the fluff. It was the real, when I was her age, I think I was watching like, Amistad and like documentaries where you saw like the real. There was no like filter. So I don't really know what grabbed my attention about. I just always, maybe the food. I was like, I love food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess to piggyback on that, you would fast forward to your mother finding out what her bloodline is.
Yeah. And it's like Benin.
It's Benin, and then a little bit of Ghana and Ivory Coast.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe
so it's probably just in there.
What do you think is holding people from here, African Americans from here, to connect with countries in Africa?
The most obvious thing would be and I say we because I guess I'm not straddling both sides. I like straddling on the fence. I've just lived both lives. So if I say we, it's like being here, you're not taught anything good about Africa. So when you're not taught anything good about a place, why would you set your goals, save your money, whatever, to go to this place?
Right.
That wouldn't make sense if you didn't go deeper into the reasons why you haven't been taught about this place. So it takes what you're doing right now is cool. Just bridging that gap, causing networking, causing relationships. Because I remember having conversations a little after my teens into my 20s and realizing how there was, I called myself an African, but because I was born here and most of my life was here, until I told people I was African, they just saw me as another Black American.
Right.
But because I know who I am, I would see that there is a gap in that relationship. Like people say, it's just a joke being called African booty scratcher, being called Shaka. When I was younger, being called Shaka Zulu, it hurt for a second because they weren't seeing Shaka Zulu as the warrior king that he was. Exactly. They were seeing him as some primitive dude. So that part annoyed and hurt. Until I got older, I could have had a better comeback to that. And then the African booty scratcher, yeah, they're just joking, but they don't mean it as anything good. They're calling you that. Having some white person, some Spanish person, whatever, call you that, and then having your own people call you that, and then hearing, hey, they just came to take our jobs. It wasn't only for Mexicans. That it became a Mexican thing now, but it was a lot of Africans that were here working jobs that nobody wanted. And there would be people not having work. And maybe it's because, not maybe it's because of the way the system is. So sometimes because we came with respect, they would see us as, oh, the good Black people. Because we didn't have to deal with the white supremacy in America. We had our own issues with colonization and neo-colonization, but we were escaping that. So we got here and we're on some, hey, we're in America, we'll do anything to make the money to send back home. That was the plan for most people anyway.
Right.
But then now we're clashing with each other because the whites in America, the higher ups anyway, are saying, oh yeah, you're not like that. Though we're all Black and we're all African descent, but you're not like that.
So division.
So now we have that division. So now already they don't know anything good about Africa. They see Africans as not liking them, which still happens. But I even see it on your the last live you did. Well, the one before the last. There were some people hopping in there saying things like, hey, they don't want us there anyway. Or, oh, they should give us our section of the country anyway. Stuff like that. That division is still there. So what you're doing, hopefully I don't want to say trying because we're doing it. Hopefully people will receive it properly. We're just showing that it can be done. Continental African, African in Britain, African in Germany, African in Australia, African in America. We can get together if we want the same thing. The people who want growth in Africa want it. We just have different ways of seeing it. Because if you're leaving here, you might think that the way an African's doing it is wrong.
Yeah.
So the reason why it's tougher for them to go, I would say, is the education. We don't have much of it, so you have to get into that yourself. If you really want to know what's happening in Africa, find out yourself. And get to know some Africans. Like, get to know them. Don't go by the surface of people say when they go to Ghana, oh man, they're so nice. But over here, someone might say, man, they're mad rude because they're standoffish. They don't want to get into that with you. From what they know, watching the movies, you're a gangster. You don't want to work. And I'm not saying that this is right. This is what we're seeing.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So there's no understanding. Ultimately, everything I'm trying to say right now, we have to want
Right.
to know.
Yeah.
And when you want to know, you put in the work.
So I want to rewind a bit. Being born here as an American to Ghanaian parents, what was that like growing up here?
I'm so happy that they were able to not only adapt to life in the DC area, but they made sure we never thought we were American.
Mm.
So yes, we were born here. And you would have the Ghanaians here calling me, hey, Yankee, Yankee. Even when I went back,
Yankee.
going back to Ghana. But those same Ghanaians would be making me fufu. They'd be feeding me gari. You know what I'm saying? This is before I even left. So yes, being born in Cheverly around that time, your last video that I was on, I mentioned something about, well, I didn't mention, I put it in chat that there's a whole lot of Ghanaians around Silver Springs.
Mm-hmm.
I only knew that because when I was born, my mother and father had a whole crew of people in the DMV.
Right.
In the 70s, that's where they were. Then I was born, I didn't stay much in that area. We went to Georgia for what I remember as a child in America. I was in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
The Chicagoland is what I knew. And there knowing that I'm African and telling people I'm African as a child. And then you don't have to close your ears, but they're from the 70s. So they'd be like, the black folk would be, they use nigga a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't supposed to be anything negative. But then I'd also hear from the white people in like Cedar Grove, and they were hard on the R. So it'd be like, oh, that nigger. You know what I'm saying? So I had both. And I hated the word. So growing up, I grew up with everybody. And they all knew I was a Ghanaian American. Even back then, 70s to the early 80s.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. So definitely your parents tried to keep you insulated in the Ghanaian culture, even though you are living here in America, right?
Yeah, well, I don't want to say insulated. They kept me connected.
Connected. That's a better word.
Because when I was a child, my best friend was this white dude, and I know him to this day, Chris. You know what I'm saying? That was my best friend. And he calls me brother till this day. And we're older and we live different lives. But yeah, they kept us. That's why in 82, my father sent, I don't want to say sent, he stayed here and worked. And my mother took me to Ghana. I had 2 siblings there already. Well, 2 siblings with my mother. I got 10 siblings altogether. With my mother, there are 4 of us. 2 of them were in Ghana. The first time I went to Ghana, they were already there.
Okay.
So I went to actually meet my siblings for the first time there, not knowing at that point, I was 5 years old. I didn't know that I had 6 other siblings from my father's side. So I didn't meet them then until I went to Ghana later on in life.
Rachel, so this is the first time that you went to Ghana, right? Recently?
Yes.
What was that like? You know, how much were you looking forward to that trip, and what was that like for you being in Africa?
I was looking forward to it for years. Yeah, years, because it was always like a thing. We've always had the lands. His mom has always like when she was not retired, she would summer and then come back in summer. So it was always like, we need to go. We want to go. Family would be like, when are you coming? We want to go. They were small and just life, they were in school.
Right.
Keep pushing it. Then he went. Then it was like, okay, well, we can't go now because you're going. So we'll wait and go again. So I was excited. Like, I really didn't, when we were planning it, I kind of wasn't letting myself think like, okay, we're going just in case something is going to happen. But then when things are falling into place, like obviously after you spend that money on the ticket, you're going.
Yeah, you're committed then.
Yeah, like the cash is out, you're going. So that's when, you know, I got excited. It was exciting. You have like normal apprehensions because it's like not, you know, it's not your home that you're used to. Like you feel like, oh, I'm gonna feel some kind of home attachment, but you know, like it's different, it's unknown. So like just regular stuff like you know, medical, because Solomon has some breathing things. So my questions were like, will we have access to healthcare for that, and things like just regular questions that like a mom would think of. But obviously those were fatigues.
Right, right. So arriving there, you know, you're in Ghana, you know, your first couple of days, how did that feel?
It was great. It was really, really peaceful. That's what I can say. Like our first drive when we arrived at the airport, when we were done, like with all the custom junk and, you know, the COVID test and this COVID test and filling out that form. And you were able to just be like, oh, I'm here. Like we got here. It was very relieving, like a great, it was just really peaceful.
Yeah.
There's a different, like, a different feeling that's like heavy here. And I didn't realize it as much until we came back here. And I was just like, oh, I don't like this. I don't like like the minute we landed, like the heavy came back on and it's like when you get there, the heavy just melts off. Like
exactly.
Not saying there's not, you know, difficulties and things that you have to deal with, but there's just a different way that you feel about those things. It's just like not that serious. And it's calmer and it's chill and no one's like, oh my gosh, I got it. Like it's chill. So it was great. It was wonderful.
You've described that feeling perfectly, and I wish that feeling for, you know, many Africans, African Americans that want to connect with the continent, because there's really no way to describe it unless you actually arrive there. And then when you're coming back, that detachment is like detaching your heart, because you know your spirit is like there, and then you're coming back. Yeah.
we were very upset.
Yeah. For me, that week that you know that you're coming back here to the States, you're leaving Ghana, is kind of like the saddest period. And then you get on the plane, you almost want to cry when you're leaving. She cried?
They cried the entire week. Like
before we left,
saying goodbye to their friends, they cried all night long. Saying goodbye to their grandma, they cried. They cried again. They cried all on the plane. It was just like entire. Then when we landed in the airport, she was mad. She was like, why did you make me come back to America? Like they were not happy.
She straight up told me, Daddy, don't talk to me. You forced me to come back to America.
They were not happy.
She got to see more family, which was good.
What about stuff that you didn't saw? Fun things.
Did you like any of the things you saw? That?
Yes.
Like what?
Villa.
So
the villa, where our home.
Yes. They enjoyed it. Like as we spoke before, my father's from the Western region, my mother's from the Great Accra region. But where my mother procured land that we were able to hop on with her, little section, is in the Eastern region.
Okay.
In 2017, you know that Accra is choked.
Yeah. So
that's not a place of solace. You want to go chill and hang out. Yeah, be in Accra. You want to see the hustle and the bustle. And I'm saying people work everywhere, all over Ghana. But where we wound up being, us seeing it for the first time, setting foot on it, it was so peaceful. And then there's so much area to run. And these children were just different when we went back into the house. The compound, they ran it crazy. We go out to the back, we have things growing. They love seeing the mango. Right in the house, there was avocado. There's coconuts falling.
So they'll be careful, all right?
So the villa is my mother called that area.
Okay.
It's called what? Miss Ruby's Villa?
Ruby's Villa.
Right. And so right now, when we asked what did she like the most out of there, she said the villa. She loved being home.
Yeah, Rachel, I want to ask you this. So what have you heard any type of questions and things like that from your family and friends who you might have told that you went to Ghana?
Like, why did I go?
Not
Like,
necessarily why did you go, but like, how was that like? What was that experience like? Are they kind of inquisitive or?
for sure. And I think that's a big reason why we like decided to share. Because they just ask like, because, you know, people that are comfortable with me, their guard down, like they don't feel like it's rude asking like what almost like rudimentary or elementary questions, like, oh, like what are the bathrooms like stuff like that, that people are like, oh, did you have to like, you know, pee in the bush or stuff like this, because they're comfortable with me now. They can just open up and ask the questions that they've always wanted to ask,
Right.
but they don't be laughed at if they ask the questions like they don't know. So them seeing like what it was like, there was a lot of shock of a lot of my, oh, we did this in places that we went, and we're just like, oh, well, that's in Africa. Yeah, like a lot of places that we went to are a lot nicer than places we've ever been to here. So there was that level of like, wow. And then, you know, there's things also that different. It's a balance. Like, you know, sometimes the lights are off and just like, oh my gosh, and what did you like? How are you gonna unplug? So I think there's like a balance of what you can, you know, do. Like the pee sometimes lights off. But for me, it's not a big deal. For other people, you know,
Could be.
Yeah, it could be. So just I just try to answer honestly, from my perspective. Like this is what I'm okay with, but you know, this is just what it is. It's gone at the point. And then looking at like America, if you're expecting it to be like America is the way it is because they've stolen things and they've used labor from, you know, people that they stole, and that's how we are the way we are. But that's not what Ghana is. So how can you expect it to be this? They're not doing that. So yeah. I get a lot of questions, and you know, about the kids, like, oh my gosh, the kids were okay. Yeah, they're fine. They're great. They loved it.
How do you expect them to be?
Yeah. Now, what kind of mother do you think I am? I drive my kids off to foreign land and we were, you know, no. So
what bugs me out is the older Ghanaians who ask them.
Oh, that too.
They're shocked that they enjoyed Ghana.
Yeah. It's
really?
True.
Ghanaians here?
Yes.
A lot.
Wow.
They're like, you liked it? And then when I'm like, yeah, I loved it. You want to go back?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I want to go back. What? You guys are gonna go again? You're shipping something? Like, why? Like, yes, we like it.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Rachel, so being that you're a woman, what did you think of Ghanaian women? You know, everything that you saw, maybe the way their mannerisms, the way they act, fashion, their role in the society. What did you think about that?
They're tough cookies. they're I would say that they're strong. They're super strong. Like the carrying things in your head, the selling in the streets, they work. Yeah, children, like they do all the roles. I mean, I'm not saying that it's less or more than here. It's different. Yes, you have like, you know, house help, and it's more of community there. I think that's a big plus and a big help. That allows people to just be, you know, be able to go and sell all day. And then everyone's just, you know, the kids are just everywhere. And everyone is watching the kids that are everybody, because there's so much. You'll just see a child walking here. It's like, oh my gosh, whose child? Like they're gonna get snapped. But what? It's not like everybody's just watching everybody's everything. And the community that the women have, it's really, really beautiful to see. Fashion, super fashionable.
On all levels.
Super fashionable. You know, I don't go to get my nails done here, talking about girl things, but I went there for the first time. I had my first facial in my entire life, 36 years old. I never did it here. I don't know, I was always nervous. But there I went to a salon that I had been following on Instagram that's there. So I went there, I got my nails done there, I got a facial. I mean, all those things happening.
Wow.
It was
Had some girl time, huh?
Right. It was fabulous. And the way that they treat you there, like the service, I know people always say like, oh, customer service is lacking in Ghana. But I think it depends on where you go. I think it depends on how you approach people. Because we've had a lot of situations. I don't speak the language fluently, but he does.
Somewhat.
But I feel like we would go and some people would have like their guard up because they see that we're not from there.
Right.
You know, a guard up kind of sort of. And then when we would start talking with them and engaging with them, immediately it was like, what? And then we're laughing and talking. So I just think it's like, and even with the women, like some people are like, oh, they're standoffish. I couldn't make friends. Just like, I don't know, we made friends.
Yeah.
I know it's a question, but if I can join in on this real quick.
Absolutely.
We were, the life we lived out there was unique. Because we went there like tourists. I mean, it was I would say it's everybody's first time, but it's my first time with them. So it was just the first time.
There was a certain aspect of tourist.
Right.
So we had that, but we lived in a village.
Right. It was like we were
home
I'm saying? And we had like staycations, but it was our first time.
Right. So the people we would meet, even when we would go to places that people might say, oh, that's like a resort. The people we spoke with more or were around would probably be the help.
Right.
What they would call the help. Right. The people working there. In our village, it would just, we would go and meet the people around there. We were able to be in Ghana. We had some tourist stuff, but because we were there for a little over 6 weeks, which isn't long at all, but we were able to have different levels of being Ghanaian. I
would also say, as a woman, like I already, like we had families there, so it wasn't exactly like I was going there as an American.
That's true.
On my own. I don't speak anything, and now I'm trying to connect. I already have the connection.
Exactly.
So I was already like,
you had the plug into Ghana.
Like I'm already family. So I definitely had
You like that, right?
Like, oh, here's this American chick, like now go meet people. It was like, oh, this is, his mom, this is my daughter-in-law. Oh, I wasn't received as a foreigner.
Right.
And in Ghana, if she's saying it in Ghana or Tree, she's not saying this is my daughter-in-law.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In B name, it was never in-law. Like my daughter.
Yeah.
Right.
That was it. Right. But yes, and it's good to give that
aspect, yeah.
Yeah,
so I don't want to like everybody's experience is their experience, but I do hear that a lot. Like, oh, they were kind of standoffish. It's hard for me to find people and make friends. So maybe it's easier for me because I have that plug.
And I've heard you say it, and other content creators say it as well. It's always good to know somebody there. Don't get it twisted. There's some people who just leave and get there and they'll be able to make a friend. But
my own definitely not.
Yeah,
that's rare.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm introverted. He's the extrovert, so like he meets all the people and he has all the conversations.
And that helped us. That definitely helped us. Yeah. There's sometimes I need to shut up. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think there was a chance for anyone to see some American chick.
Okay.
It wasn't possible because even there people would ask, "Oh, you're just American?" Or they would ask me like, "Oh, her parents aren't from here."
I also think it's important not to go as an American. I feel like some people go as an American expecting, or if it's not like what you expected, like I don't have a problem with like to be just real, like outdoor showers, like that to me is not a big deal.
You was in love with outdoor showers.
Sweeping outside and some bugs and stuff like that. But if people go there and like it's a big deal for them and they react some type of way with the people that you're going and being with, like this is their culture. So if you go in there like, oh, like, ooh, and you're reacting like, ugh, like, oh my gosh, and like, oh, it's horrible, it's hot. And
what I'm not about to do is, if you go in with that attitude,
right?
Like, oh no, I can't do spiders, and I can't. Then they're gonna be standoffish and they're receiving some.
Yeah,
just
Yeah,
seeing me integrate.
That's a very important point, because you shouldn't go to Ghana or any African country expecting the same things, the same luxuries that you're gonna have here.
Yeah.
Yes, there are certain luxuries in a place like Accra that are similar to the United States, but for the most part, Ghana is not America.
No.
So yeah, you shouldn't expect the things to be the same. So yeah.
Ghana's not America. Ghana's not DR. Ghana's not Jamaica in terms of, because these places are next to somewhere that people are like, oh, but they have this as America. America's been independent for over 200 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So and the places in the vicinity benefit from that, because America wants to escape sometimes. So they're gonna try to build things there that accommodate them.
Exactly.
So yes, you're like, oh yeah, I was in DR, Punta Cana. There are places like that in Ghana.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to find it. And it's not even as far in between as we used to think.
Mm-hmm.
There's places in Ghana right now that I see and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going there. I'm not paying that.
Yeah, there's a lot of hidden gems in Ghana that I didn't know of, that I'm finding out recently.
Crazy. We are too.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like the list, because right when she sees it, oh yeah, we got to try this out.
That's funny. Yeah, cha-ching.
Yep. And they take dollars.
Yeah, they do. They take dollars everywhere in Ghana.
Let me rephrase that. They poke dollars.
Yeah. Yep.
Because anybody would take dollars, but they're not telling you how many cities. Because what we're doing now, not even to put all our business out there, little things, and you'll see it on the channel, but just little things that we're doing make us see that we're actually taking the right moves, or there's some progress. She mentioned something before. We shipped something. We never shipped anything before, but we shipped stuff to Ghana. That's a big move for us.
Okay.
And it wasn't like we shipped the whole container, but it was something for the future.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got our plans for our house done, and that's a whole nother story. I need to go back and look at all your stuff. I don't know if you talked about the whole purchasing process on land and building and how, however liberating it is, it ain't easy.
Yeah.
And you got to be very careful.
Definitely.
But we've been blessed with so many good people, because going back to what you just finished saying, the wisdom of our elders.
Right.
And it's helped a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure really talking to you guys. So
thank you.
Viewers, you're welcome. Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Viewers, Kweku and his family have a YouTube channel. They're starting their own journey as well. So please, I'm going to be dropping the link below. Please support them. Jump on their channel, watch their content, engage with their content. I'm sure they're going to be making more videos pretty soon about their journey, move into Ghana. So yeah, just go ahead and just check out their content and please support them. It's free to subscribe. So there's no fee. There's no fee in subscribing. So please check out their channel. Any last words you guys have to say?
No, just thanks for having us. This
Absolutely.
was fun.
I do have it. You guys definitely subscribe to this channel right here.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even the official King Anan. It's not right now. It's the Ghana plug, right?
The Ghana plug, right?
Yes. So you have to subscribe,
plug in,
like
Thank
it.
You.
This video right here, you have to like it.
Yeah. Thank you.
But there's others that you need to check out. The information he's bringing, the nuance to what he's providing, you have to catch, because there are many content creators out there, and there's many that we love and that we share interest in. But please subscribe, like, and put that alert thing, the bell, because you don't want to miss his new content. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it. It's what we do. I appreciate the love. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was, in the words of
a distant mentor of mine, Les Brown, he would say it's a plum pleasing pleasure and a privilege for you guys to be on my channel. So I really, really appreciate your time. It was a little tough getting into it, but you know, we made it. Yeah, we made it. So thank you guys. Please subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and turn on your notifications and like this video, because the more you like it, the more I could bring you more engaging content just like this one. But it's your man, King Anan, signing out, and I'll catch you on the next video.
Blessings.